A very good evening to all the participants. Myself, Dr. Vandana Gawande, Assistant Professor, Sinhagad Institute of Pharmacy. I would like to thank coordinators of this FDP for giving the nice introduction. Well, before starting my session on how to draw structures online and Bloom's taxonomy for effective learning assessment, I would like to thank MSBTE Mumbai for sponsoring this much needed faculty development program at the right time. I would like to congratulate management of the MCE Society and team of Institute of Pharmacy Diploma for the wonderful arrangement and execution of this FDP. I would also like to thank Dr. V.N. Jagtap sir, Principal, Institute of Pharmacy, and Dr. Satish Polshettiwar sir from School of Pharmacy, MIT World Peace University, for giving me opportunity to interact with you all. In this session, we are going to learn how to draw structures and reactions online as well as offline. Also, we will give a discussion on Bloom's taxonomy for making effective assessment of our teaching learning process. So welcome to this fourth day of faculty development program. Before starting my session, I would like to thank MSBT Mumbai for sponsoring this event, as well as I would like to congratulate management of the MCE Society and the whole team of Institute of Pharmacy Diploma for this wonderful arrangement and making available this platform. A special mention of Dr. V.N. Jagtap sir, Principal, Institute of Pharmacy, and Dr. Satish Polshettiwar sir from School of Pharmacy, World Peace University. Myself, Dr. Vandana Gawande from Sinhagad Institute of Pharmacy. In this session, we are going to learn how to draw chemistry structures online, and after that we will have a session on what is Bloom's taxonomy and what role it has to play in assessing teaching learning process. I hope you all have enjoyed the previous sessions by eminent personalities upon the different sessions which were conducted on how to create a YouTube channel, then effective use of these ICT tools, Moodles, how to frame the Google Forms, then effective use of Google Classroom. But especially for the chemistry faculty members, it is essential to frame some questions which contain structures. So many times we need to include structures as well as reactions in the offline question paper or in the Google form. Dear viewers, if you face any problem, please write it in the chat box. And if you have any questions in between, that also you can write in the chat box. If you want a repetition of any particular thing, that also you are welcome to draw. If you miss something, then this live streaming, it will be we are recording it, so it will be available after some time on this channel. So how to draw any particular structure or reaction in the Google form? Directly drawing the structures or reactions on the form is not possible. You need to take help of some online platforms or websites which allow you to draw these structures for free. There are some softwares which you can download as a free trial for few days, as well as you can purchase their subscriptions, but there are several websites which will allow you to do it for free. So you need to draw it on those platforms and you need to copy that drawing with the help of snipping tool. Now snipping tool, many of you might be knowing it. So snipping tool is used for cropping or copying any particular image without losing its clarity. It is available freely with the Windows. If it is not there in your PC, then you can also download it for free. And then you need to paste it in either Word or a PowerPoint, and then you need to save it as a picture. I will show you the live demonstration of all these steps. So after saving it as a picture, then only you will be able to upload it into the Google form. So drawing a structure and reaction, you need to have some software. There are offline softwares as well as online softwares. You need to you need to draw it there, then you need to copy it with the help of snipping tool. Or if you do not have that, then simply you will have to run print screen from your keyboard and then paste it into the paint, but that will lose the image clarity. Then after copying it, you need to paste it into your offline question paper, that is a Word file or a PowerPoint, and then you need to save it as a picture, image, JPEG format or PNG or TIFF, any of the image format. And then you need to upload this file into the Google form. So there are several websites which will allow you to draw these structures. There is King Draw, then there is ChemWriter, then there is ChemSpider, then there is ChemSpace, and then there is ChemDraw Direct. These all websites will allow you to draw these structures free in their online version. There is ChemDraw and King's Draw, which can allow you to download offline version for a limited period of time, say for 30 days. Amongst this, and there are so many other websites also, I personally prefer to draw it on the ChemDraw Direct, which is from the Perkin-Elmer cloud. So let us see. You need to copy this link. So when you will copy this link, ChemDraw Direct .Perkin-Elmer, I will be giving you presentation also so that you can directly copy that link. You will be directed to the home page. Even other websites, they will also provide you some space like this, and then there are different tools. So this seems much like a paint screen. Okay, so once you are in this screen, let's briefly see what are different options. This is for selection. This marquee rectangular like paint, it looks like it is for rectangular selection. This lasso is for any shape you can select that particular structure. These two are for undo and redo, magnifying and reducing the visual. Now these are different bonds. There is a single bond, there is a double bond. You can also convert it into a triple bond. Now these are if you want to highlight any particular bond. This is bold, this is wedge shaped and bold. This is wedge shaped but a normal bond. These are dotted bonds. These are all used in stereochemistry for drawing, say, isomeric structures, for showing some groups which are above the plane, then below the plane. If you want to show if any bond is breaking, then this wavy line will help you. Then this is the arrow when you want to draw any reaction. You can draw a straight chain structure by clicking on this solid bond. Everywhere you need to select any option like we do it in the paint. You need to click on that bond and click on this blank space. So a bond gets created. This is nothing but ethane. So if I want to increase the side chain, again I will click at any end wherever I want this bond. So I can go on drawing like this, or if I directly want a long chain, then I can click on this option, and when I click on the blank screen, it will ask me how many carbon atoms I want in this chain. See, it has added 10 number of carbon atoms. So instead of drawing one bond every time, you can draw a long chain. So these single bonds are used for drawing straight chain compounds. If you want to make it a double bond, now this is already a single bond. So if you again press a single bond at the middle of this bond, you will be able to make it double. So you can make or convert this into a triple bond also. You need to just go on clicking continuously. You can click on this double bond twice, then it will be converted to a triple bond. If I want to insert any ring, then there is benzene, cyclopentadiene, cyclohexane, cyclopentane. So these are ready-made drawn rings. Suppose we click on benzene ring. You need to click on that structure as well as click on your blank screen. And if you want to attach any group, then you can do it. At any position, you need to put your cursor and just click on that. Now if you want to add any other atom, here there are carbons and hydrogens. If you want to add any other atom, you need to click on this A. Then there will be a square box. There you can type OH. If here you want an H2 group, that also you can draw. So with the help of A, you can change any atom, and whatever atom you want, you need to type that atom. For example, you want it here instead of carbon you want nitrogen. So this is how you will be able to draw it. If you want a ring in the chair and boat form of cyclohexane, that is also available over here in both the directions. If you want to convert it into a reaction, then click on the arrow. You can see here there is a small black triangle. If you right click and hold this button, then you will be able to see so many types of arrows. There are half arrows, there are circular arrows, there are double headed arrows. So any arrow you can select. So suppose you select this. Now for this you need to click and drag. You need to hold that left click and drag it to draw the arrow, like we draw it in Microsoft Word. Suppose you want to ask the students if this substance reacts in presence of, we want to type here concentrated HCl. So this A I have taken for typing. And you want to ask them what it will produce. So again A I have taken for typing, and with the help of your keyboard you can type a question mark. So you have drawn here reaction. If you want to draw any structure which you want to include in your paper, suppose you want naphthalene, every time you need to make sure you are picking up the correct drawing, and then you need to, this blue color will highlight where you want that attachment. Like for naphthalene, this attachment is with 2 carbon atoms. So when your structure is drawn, now you want to paste it into the Google form. So you will go on the selection tool. So this tool is selected. So this structure you can place it anywhere. You can move it after selection. But for copying it into the Google form, you need something called as snipping tool. This snipping tool is available freely. You can download it, or most of the times it is available with the Windows. For copying anything, you need to click on new. After that, this screen will get blurred, and you need to drag to select the portion which you want. Then whatever you have selected will get converted into that snipping tool. Then you will click on edit, copy, and you can paste it into the PowerPoint. You can make it large. Similarly, you can also copy this structure. You need to click on snipping tool, click on new, and then select the structure you want. It will go inside that snipping tool. Click on edit, copy, and then paste it into the PowerPoint. Please do not worry if this screen is not clear. It can be a network issue, but I have a video on it. I will share the link, even my PowerPoint. So you can later on also view it. Even this live streaming, this recording will also be available after some time. So do not worry if there is no clarity. So once you have drawn this structure, Then you need to click on this structure, make a right click and save it as picture. So saving it as a picture, you need to select the destination. Say on the desktop, you have drawn naphthalene over here. And you have saved this file. Now you will go to the Google form where you want to place this structure. Suppose your question is identify the structure. Then in front of this question you will find one option, inserting image. Now you just need to upload the image which you have created. So on the desktop we have saved it as naphthalene. So that structure is inserted over here. You can also select the alignment. You want it at the left or at the center or at the right. You can also later on change it or remove it. You want to add any caption for it. You can do that editing. So we will just revise. There are these online platforms: KingDraw, ChemWriter, ChemSpider, ChemSpace. If you go on their home pages, they will allow you to draw the structure. Just now I have shown you ChemDraw Direct, which has some additional features. This ChemDraw Direct, you can download it as a 30 days free trial. After that, you will have to purchase it or get it from someone who has the actual version. So we have just seen how to draw any structure in the ChemDraw online. So for drawing any structure, you need to pick up either the rings or either the bond, give the substitutions. There are arrows. There are different types of arrows. Just hold on this key with the right click and there are different arrows also possible. You can, with the help of this A, you can write anything on the arrow. Now I was talking about that this particular software, you can download it as a trial version or you can get it from someone who has it. So this is that version which I have offline. Now additional features in this, what you get is, suppose I'm drawing benzene ring and I'm giving the extension. With the help of this A, I would be able to draw COH, right? COH. Then when I select it, if I go to the file, then document settings, file, document settings, then drawing, show atom numbers. So it has labeled this. We can also change this sequence. This is not as per the IUPAC. If you want to give name to this, you need to click on structure. This facility is also available with online version also. Convert structure to name. So this is benzoic acid. That name will automatically come. If you want to see some additional properties, again select that structure, go into view, show analysis window. Click on that, it will show molecular formula, exact mass, molecular weight. You can tick whatever you want, how many decimals. If you click on paste, this will get paste. Below this, you can have chemical formula, exact mass and molecular structure also. This is offline version. You can also give color. You can select some other colors also. So these are available with the offline version. Now online version has some additional facilities. If you click on templates, there are so many templates, like you can see there are some images which you can insert. Then these are the structures of amino acids. These are just side chains. These are complete amino acids. There are some anatomical organs. Then pictures of some animals. Complex rings. You can take it from these aromatics. You can see fullerene. So many types of pre-drawn structures are available. Then bicyclics, such folded ones which are difficult to draw. So you can just explore, and this is online version, so they keep on updating this. If you want some glassware, RBF, then these are also available. Even DNA templates and all, there are so many options which you can explore. So after drawing it here, I told you, you can copy it with the help of snipping tool. So once that goes into the snipping tool, you need to go into the edit and paste it here. You need to save this as picture, and then into the Google form you will be able to upload that as an image. This online version has one more facility, that if you select any structure, if it is already drawn, for selecting any structure you need to click on this mark V and just drag it over that structure. If you click on name to structure, you can, okay, these two options are like, you can convert structure to name. So this is orthoxylene. Reverse is, if you want any structure to be drawn, like let's try with aspirin. See, this is the structure of aspirin. So you can try writing here names of the drugs which you want. So you can either write name and get that structure, or you can draw the structure and then convert structure to name. These features are not available in other kind of websites. So do go for only this ChemDraw Direct. It will help you in drawing, as well as there are number of already drawn structures. Now the next topic is online paper setting via the Google Forms. Do not worry, I am repeating. Even if you miss something, we are going to upload separate videos so that you can easily see it offline. So I hope Dr. Pulshettiwar sir has already covered how to design a question paper into the Google form. So Google form allows you to set the question paper which can have answers in the form of, say, one line answers, short answer, or a paragraph, say for a descriptive or a long answer. We can also have a quiz wherein we can give options to the students. They can select any one of them. Or we can have checkbox wherein students can select multiple answers. If there are multiple answers correct, then with the help of checkbox you can select it. This is usually used for survey or online filling of the forms, not in the question papers, because drop down, we all have filled some kinds of forms on the official websites. So when we drop down, suppose we want to select our college name, there is a huge list of college names all over Maharashtra, and we select a particular college name from that. So drop down is used for that. File uploads, if you give them some case study, we are going to see in the Bloom's taxonomy that we can ask students to draw something, to design something. So you need to select this option of file uploads, then they will be able to submit you the assignments. Also you can work for rating over scale, wherein you can give, it is usually used for feedbacks, that suppose how was the quality of this presentation, how was the topic covered, poor, then fair, then good, then excellent. You can give options and students can rate it. We can have multiple choice grid. Suppose we have the questions like match the following or giving ranking. That time we can select this multiple choice grid, or we can have checkbox grid wherein match the following, wherein we can, students can select for wherein students can select multiple options. Okay, before moving to the Bloom's taxonomy, there is a request to show how to number the structure. This is possible in the offline version. It is available in the online version also, but then manually we need to give this. It will not give automatically. But if you download this offline version either as a free trial, this is the structure. So you need to select, or even if you don't select, still this will work. In the option file, you need to go to document settings. In the document settings, you need to click on drawing and show atom numbers. Click on OK. So it has numbered them. This is how you can number it, and you can select this structure, convert structure to name. This is benzene. Okay, now we are moving to the next section. If there are any other queries, we can address it at the end. So I hope these options of the Google Forms are already discussed with you all. That in the paper setting via Google Forms, we can set our question paper which can have answers in this format. So question paper can be set that way. Now what is Bloom's taxonomy? Bloom's taxonomy, though it is named after Professor Benjamin Bloom, it was actually the whole team under him. They were working on how students learn. So this particular taxonomy was seeing how learning happens, and they put forth 3 domains via this learning happens. That this learning can be a cognitive, knowledge based passage of information which we give to them, but it is up to them how to receive it. So how they receive this, how they react to it, so their emotions, and this psychomotor is based upon their actions. So this is like their behavior. So this was first published in 1956 and it was then revised in 2001. So this was the scheme given to know how learning happens. But because our objective is to make this learning happen, and we want to assess whether this has happened or not. So it is said that whenever you will set your question paper, it should be set according to different levels which are given by this Bloom's taxonomy. But before giving questions to the students in this way, please make sure that learning also happens in this way. So this can be presented in the form of a pyramid, wherein the base and there is constricted top. So very few students are able to go up to this stage. Majority of them will be able to do this part. So in 1956, these 6 levels were proposed, that learning is going to happen in this way, or these should be our objective. In 2001, it was revised that these nouns were converted into the verbs. Like they say that even we have been framing our questions in this way. We always try to test whatever we have taught in the class, whether they are able to remember it, whether they are able to reproduce it. And to pass the exam, majority of the students do this. So most of the students pass this knowledge level, that we are just transferring them the contents and they remember and reproduce it. After that, we expect they not only should be able to reproduce it, but they should understand. And this understanding can be reflected in a way if they are able to explain something in their own language. If they are able to express themselves, then we can give them some conditions in which they can apply this knowledge. So they should be able to practically do it. After applying it, then we can expect understanding can go deeper through a term called as analyzing. Analyzing is seeing what contents have been learned into different parts and then collectively seeing their effects. So it is a deeper level of understanding. Based upon this understanding, if they are able to evaluate something which is not known or which is not taught to them, if they are able to predict something based upon this knowledge, then they will pass this evaluation stage. And lastly, whatever knowledge they have, whatever they have understood, whatever they have applied, analyzed, evaluated, they should be able to create something of their own. So this creating is nothing but output from them. They should be able to demonstrate what they have learned. So if learning happens in this way, then only we can assess them in this way. Applying Bloom's taxonomy that way is very easy. You will find either as a triangle or a circle, wherein they have given a lot of verbs. These verbs you can use for framing your questions. And majority of the times we do that. But as we go from lower level to higher level, we are stimulating critical thinking in them. We are creating a sense of logical thinking in them, then only that learning gets complete. So this Bloom taxonomy says you should have this objective of making them understand, apply, analyze, evaluate and create of something of their own. So we can frame such questions in the online question paper, in the Google Forms, as well as in the offline question papers. So at every level, your total question paper should be comprising of few questions of this category, of remembering kind of category, few questions of understanding kind of category, few questions of applying kind of category, few questions of this, and there can be one question on creating something because it will take time. So this will also indicate the number of questions which you can ask to them. But before asking them, you must make sure that you have already created that learning environment in them. So let's see every level one by one. Level 1 is about the knowledge, and everybody of us have framed many questions of this kind. So you will find these verbs. These verbs are given everywhere. You will get it free on the Google Images, that what are different verbs for each level. So these verbs will tell you arrange, define, describe, duplicate, identify, label, then list something, match something, outline something, recall something, repeat something. So many verbs. Out of that, you can pick up something which can test that are they able to remember whatever they have learned, whatever you have taught them into the class, are they able to remember in the exam or say as a continuous assessment. So these are simple straightforward questions. Like I have referred to the syllabus of second year DPharm pharmaceutical chemistry, and their syllabus says they have IUPAC numbering and nomenclature of heterocycles. Then there are several categories of the drugs, and out of that some drugs are marked with star. Students need to learn their structures. Otherwise, other drugs, students need to learn their uses, then storage, stability, formulations available, brand names available. This is what your syllabus is for pharmaceutical chemistry. If I want to test the knowledge level, if students are able to remember or not, most straightforward question is if they have learned few brand names for aspirin, then list the brand names. If they have learned the stability and storage of insulin, give the stability and storage condition. If they have learned what is thiazole and furan, give the structure and numbering of the thiazole and furan. If they have learned what is diuretics, define diuretics. So these are most straightforward kind of questions. Whatever is given in the syllabus, you can just convert it into a simple form that will just test whether students are able to remember and write or not. So on the Google form, you can select short answer question like explaining brand names. Select short answer question. Give the stability and storage paragraph because they will write something. You can give the quiz brand names of aspirin. Out of the following, uh, our particular brand name does not belong to aspirin. So you can give all the brand names of aspirin and you can miss one. You can give brand name of some other compound. If you are asking them, give the structure and numbering. You can select the option of file uploads because students will say draw it on the notebook paper. They will click the photo and they will upload it. Or you can give them multiple choice grid wherein they can match the following, that aspirin, then paracetamol, then diclofenac. One line you will give and then you ask for matching with their brand names. So testing their knowledge is what we already do. We have many kinds of such questions normally asked into our internal as well as external exams. These are some verbs which can be used to frame these questions. Now coming to the level 2, even in the learning pedagogy, they have combined these two levels. They say remembering and understanding you can combine. Most of the students can do it. You can add some questions which are testing their ability of comprehension. That is to demonstrate whether they have understood or not. So these are questions like why this happens or how this happens. For example, you can ask them this particular compound. If level 1 question is give the stability condition of paraldehyde. Level 2 question is Paraldehyde is always stored in dark and cool place. Explain why. So if they have understood what happens to the paraldehyde if it is at the room temperature or higher temperature, or if it comes in contact with light, then they will be able to answer this. Or level 1 question was draw the structure of furan. You can also ask them to draw the structure of quinoline. But level 2 question is give examples of two drugs which are containing quinoline. So quinoline they have understood as a structure, but now in the next chapters they are learning so many structures of the drugs. So they should be able to notice, yes, chloroquine or some structure of the drug, it is containing quinoline. So they need to write just names of the drugs which contain quinoline. So this is not about remembering, they are understanding how does quinoline look like. Similarly, if they have learned Congo red is the indicator. So level 1 question is explain use of Congo red indicator. Level 2 question is discuss the color change of Congo red at different pH. For them now they should understand what is pH. So acidic, basic, neutral, and what color Congo red will have. In the acidic, what color it has, in the basic, what color it has. So it is not by hearting only the use. They should know these two concepts. They should know pH also and they should know this also. And we are asking them how this color is changing. We are asking them to discuss it. So if they are saying it is having red color in one pH, blue color in another pH, they should explain why. So if there are any structures, they can draw which resonating form has which particular color. So you can ask them as a short answer or paragraph, because this is like explaining kind of things. So level 2 questions are something like retelling the fact. They cannot by heart the paragraph, why a particular thing happens. They can by heart the words. Brand name they can by heart. Names they can by heart. But they cannot by heart concepts. So they should be able to frame their answers in their own words. So as a practice, you can do it at the end of your lecture, that you can ask one or two students to summarize whatever is taught. Let them summarize in their own words. Or for all the class, you can ask them to write in their notebook whatever they have learned in their own language. Need not be only English, in any language in which they find it comfortable, they can explain it, but make them a habit of explaining it in their words. Or if they can outline it, so they should be able to summarize the things. They should be able to add their own words. In the understanding level, they should be able to reason out what is the main thing behind a particular action, or what are the differences between some things. So understanding level goes beyond first level. Now level 3 is about application. They should be able to apply it into some actual situation. For example, level 1 question was draw a structure of, for example, pyridine. Level 2 question was explain write the names of two drugs which are containing pyridine. Now you can ask them identify the heterocycle present. Now you are not telling the name pyridine. They have learned 20 heterocycles. So you need to ask them identify the heterocycle present in following structure. You can give simple also, you can give complex also. Need not be from your syllabus. Preferably, if it is a new drug which is not there into the syllabus, something which they have not seen. So you can ask them to spot. So they are applying it, whatever they have learned. So they should be able to trace. Yes, furan is there. Yes, pyridine is there. This is how their knowledge about pyridine will get perfect. Or we can take same example of Congo red as an indicator. Level 1 question was what are the uses of Congo red? and they will write it is used as an indicator. Level 2 question was discuss how the color changes into different pH. So they will explain. Suppose they write it is red into the alkaline condition and it is blue in the acidic solution. Level 3 question is now they need to apply this knowledge into some practical situation. So you can ask them if Congo red is to be used as an indicator. See, the question is of if kind. Situation may not exist practically. You are just asking what if. So if it is to be used as an indicator in the acid base titration, what will be the color change at the end point, whether it is red to blue or blue to red. Answer seems easy at the first glance, but they need to think what is a titration. In the titration, if it is acid base titration, if we are taking acid into the beaker and base into the titrant, then at the end point what happens? When all acid is finished, then extra drop of base is going to react with the indicator. So color change must be from acid to base. So they should be able to think in this way. But if I take base into the beaker and titrant as an acid, then color change will be reverse. So they should be able to apply this into the actual situation, and this situation may not be there. You are just hypothesizing some situation. If this happens, then what? There are some other verbs also like solve. You can give them uh, some, if you are teaching them numbering of the heterocycle, that heteroatom should get priority. So nitrogen should get first number and then rest others. If there are branches, then that branch will get the lowest possible number. If you have taught them this, give them some heterocycle which they have not seen and ask them to number it. So they are applying it into actual situation. They are not by hearting that numbering starts always from here. They should learn whom to be given priority. So application level is like giving examples. So it must be giving the examples, or you can ask them, do you know any another instance where this can be used, like Congo red? Any other titration where you can use Congo red? Can this happen in this particular way? So application is using this into the practice. Now the levels go tougher in this way. For level 4, 5 and 6, you need to make sure that they are comfortable with the first 3 levels. Practice it for the regular teaching and learning, and then you can ask such questions in the exams. Level 4 is analysis. Analyzing means breaking down the objects or ideas into simple parts and finding evidence to support this generalization. So there are different verbs they have given like analyze, appraise, calculate, categorize, compare, classify, criticize, illustrate, draw, diagram, then differentiate, discriminate. So this is like a deeper level of understanding. Level 2, they are able to express their own words, but analyzing level 4 is at a more deeper level. For example, classify heterocycles. Now they might have learned classification as 5-membered heterocycles, 6-membered heterocycles, say 7-membered or bicyclic, fused heterocycles. You can ask them, classify them based upon the heteroatom present. So they are able to now compare different heterocycles they have learned. Are they able to put in nitrogen containing heterocycles, oxygen containing, then both containing, and compare their properties? So for comparing their properties, they first have to individually study the property of every heteroatom. Why nitrogen in case of pyrrole is acidic and then in case of pyridine it is basic? So they should be able to compare something. It is more deeper level of understanding. Level 2 is why pyrrole is acidic. But level 4 is nitrogen in one heteroatom it is acidic, in another heteroatom it is basic. Comparing this. Or you can ask them to draw a schematic diagram of any drug. Here I have written metronidazole, but any drug. So a deeper level of understanding is when the drug is absorbed, then where it goes. Is it acting on any specific organ? So they should be able to break down this whole mechanism into simpler parts. Whether it is acting on the some receptor, it is going towards some organ, whether it is binding to some protein, whether it is opening some channel, whether it is releasing some enzyme. So they should be able to break it, and you are asking them to draw it. You are not asking them to explain it. Drawing, that time they will imagine what I have to draw. They will be able to draw it only when they know it part by part. They cannot just simply draw one arrow and explain the whole mechanism. They should be able to break it into simpler parts and then they can join it together to give one mechanism. So you can ask them to create such mechanisms which are not already given into the book. Or you can ask them to compare the effectiveness of different insulin preparations. So in their syllabus, there are preparations of insulin. So there are injections, then suspensions. So you can ask them to compare the effectiveness. Which one is better? So level 4 can have what are the parts of this, or this can be, you can give them a complex structure and you can ask them what are the functional groups present in this structure. So whether there is amide, then acid, amine. Classify according to what you have given. You can ask them to classify something which is they have not learned. So they should be able to make it out. How can we classify it? You can ask them to give outline, diagram, mapping, then comparing and contrasting. So comparing means you can give similarities also, contrast also. Then what evidence in case of mechanism of action? Are there any references that it is going, whether it is crossing blood-brain barrier or which receptor it is interacting? Then level 5 is one step beyond. After analyzing, they should be able to predict something. Analyzing is a deeper level of understanding, and believe me, they will be more eager. Once they understand it, they will be more eager to apply it somewhere. So it is higher level of application. So if their syllabus has a structure of imipramine, which is a tricyclic antidepressant, and they know their mode of action, so you can give them some structure which is not there in the syllabus, but it is containing that nucleus. And you can ask them to predict the activity of that compound. So they should be able to notice, yes, it is containing nucleus of a tricyclic and it can be antidepressant. So you can ask them to predict. Evaluation means they should be able to make and defend the judgment. They should be able to take some stand and then they should be able to prove that stand. Previous level analyzing, they are just thinking on multiple lines, but now they need to pick up something from them, like compare heterocycles based upon their acidity and basicity. You can ask them to write the structures in a line going from acidity to basicity. And you can ask them to select the most acidic compound, the most basic compound. So evaluating means ask them to make a choice. Ask them to compare, conclude, contrast, and defend. Defending is important. Why in this way? I don't know whether it is there in their syllabus. You can give them some structure and you can ask them to predict where in the human body it will get absorbed throughout the GI tract, whether it will get absorbed into the stomach or intestine or large intestine. So they should be able to predict something. If they say stomach, then why? So if their syllabus contains that pKa concept, that acid in the acid is unionized and only unionized form can get absorbed. So they should be able to predict something. That kind of questions you can ask. and they should be able to defend it. So you can ask them to prioritize the things based upon what criteria they can assess the formulations. So this way they can go on predicting it. Now the last level, level 6, is it is about their creativity. In the older Bloom's theory, it was called as synthesis, and it was at 5th level. But the revised theory says if your students are able to create something of their own, they have reached the highest level of learning and they will be satisfied with whatever they have learned and they are ready to go to face the challenges in the world. So this is the last level of creating. In this, you need to give them some platform. You need to ask them to come up with something. Like they are learning the brand names, so they have observed how a brand name looks like. It is not too long, it is small. It can indicate name of the company, it can indicate the name of the drug, something catchy, easy to pronounce. So you can ask them to compose brand name for any particular formulation. You can give them as example, or you can ask them to, we can take the simpler ones. You can ask them to create a database of the brand names with the highest turnover in their nearby medical shops. So this is like activity. So not obviously in the question paper, but as a regular assessment, you can ask them to visit some stores, collect the brand names which have highest turnover. Here important thing is, are they able to create a database? They should not give you the 100 names. They should give you some trend like a bar graph or a pie chart that antibiotics are having higher rate of sale. They should be able to create it, depict it in some way. Or you can ask them to design a layout of a retail pharmacy store. Instead of by hearting what should be there in the pharmacy store, you can ask them to visit and you can ask them to draw their dream layout of a retail pharmacy store, how it should be. So if they are able to do this, then they are passing this level. You can also ask them to propose a scheme, like if they know what is solubility. In the practical, you can ask them to derive a scheme how one should go for solubility determination. Give us the protocol, substance, then how much gram of substance they will take, how much ml of liquid is to be added, then which solvents must be tested, say water, methanol, ethanol, then acid, then base. So they should be able to propose the scheme and you can observe, are they giving it into the tabular format or flow chart, or simply you can ask them to construct test paper for themselves or their friends. You can ask them to construct multiple choice questions on a particular topic. When they know, when they have the information, it will be of their interest to frame the question for their fellow colleagues. So level 6 is you want some output from them. So you can ask them to draw something, to plan something, to prepare something. You can ask them to develop some model which can demonstrate some kind of activity. You can ask them to summarize the whole syllabus. So they should be able to depict it in the form of say bullet points or flowcharts, tables, figures. They should be able to do it for themselves. So for level 6, creating, designing, you can ask them to design some formulation. If you combine this drug with this excipient, or if you want to make a tablet, come up with the formula. You can ask them to design a formulation. Or if there is some problem that this drug is having a very poor absorption, you can ask them to suggest the remedies, remedial formulations. So it is all about their ideas. So this is application of the Bloom's theory, which is targeted to slowly bring them from remembering and understanding to the application stage, practically as well as theoretically, to give a critical thinking on it, analyze and evaluate it, and to sketch them, give the platform to their ideas. Then only they will have that sense of accomplishment, as well as you will have that teaching satisfaction. But it should be practiced first in the class, and then you can evaluate it in this way. So I have finished with my contents. If you have any doubts. Okay, so in the comments, I'm just observing if there is any major problem. At the level of diploma, high level of thinking is not this. See, asking them to draw a layout of pharmacy store is not a high level. Many of the students are going to open their pharmacy store. So you can ask them to draw a layout which is of their dream pharmacy. It is not high level for them. You can ask them to do it at the level uh, which they are going to practice it. Okay, so anybody else want to, is it possible to give chemical name to the structure? Yes, perfectly. I have shown it on the platform. Like, there are two options. You can go by this way. If there is a structure, you can select this option of structure to name. So name is appearing, or there is name to structure. The same example I have given. Now let us try acetaminophen. See, this is acetaminophen. You can do both ways. You can give, here are the options, but they will be active once you select something. So if I am selecting something, then name to the structure, structure to the name. Both options are there. How does sketch and drawing diagram differ? Sketching is about the plan. There is no much difference. How numbering is to be given for substitutions in the complex structures. You will have to refer to the IUPAC guidelines. Can we insert handmade structure in the questions? Handmade structure means on the offline, on the notebook you are drawing. So you can click a photograph and that image you can upload onto the Google form. But it doesn't look good. You have options. I have shown you in this. There are templates, there are so many structures given. And instead of drawing it, you can always copy it from the Google. Anybody else wants to know something? How to change the numbering as per the substituents? Uh, this will this will not be possible in the online session as well as that trial version. Can we add a 3D structure in this question for identifying mode of action? Yes, you can add it. But for adding it, I mean, for drawing it, that 3D look is given by this wedge shaped bonds also. And you need to search in these templates if you are getting that 3D level of structures. See, these rings are 3D. So these rings you can take it and insert it onto the question paper. Symbols on the reaction arrow. Yes. This is the reaction arrow. Whatever you want to add, this A, you need to type it. So if you are writing say 20 to 30 degrees Celsius, that degree symbol you need to insert it. There is option of superscript, so there is no degree symbol, but you can write O. You need to select it and then superscript it, and triangle you can take this cyclopropane, that you just need to turn it so that it becomes straight. You can type the reaction conditions. How to save the structure in Word format? Yes, if you have drawn it here, then you need this snipping tool. Snipping tool is freely available, so it comes with the Windows also. So you just need to new snip, select it, edit, copy, and then paste it in the Word as well as PowerPoint. Anywhere, if you paste, click on paste, you will be able to do it. Okay, we have already exceeded the time limit. So let me thank again MSPT Mumbai for sponsoring this needed faculty development program. I would also like to thank management of the MCA Society and the whole team of Institute of Pharmacy Diploma for making this wonderful arrangement and giving the platform to share it with such a huge number of participants. My special thanks to Dr. V.N. Jagtap sir, Principal, Institute of Pharmacy, and Dr. Satish Polshettiwar sir from School of Pharmacy, MIT World Peace University, for giving me opportunity to interact with you all. Finally, thank you to all the participants for your patient listening and your active participation throughout throughout this session. These videos will be available, so you can note down my contact number as well as email ID. You can personally also contact me. Thank you very much.